Hi, welcome to the Joyful Soul Podcast. This podcast was designed to help you find joy in the midst of your journey while hearing real women share part of their stories. Today I am with Elvie Ketola, and I am so excited for you all to hear more about her. How are you on this beautiful day in South Carolina?
Oh, very good. Fine.
Good.
Yeah.
Will you tell us more about yourself?
Well, I was born in Minnesota on a dairy farm. It was a 1,200-acre dairy farm, and I lived in a home, which was unusual. We had a big house, and in the house was 4 single aunts, 4 single uncles, and my family, and my dad's brother's family. And we all lived together in the house in Minnesota. So I was born in April of 1945, and I had a wonderful childhood, and I worked. I graduated and I worked, and I never thought anybody would care for me enough to marry me, but along came a guy from Michigan who did.
Oh,
We've been married 54 years.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's definitely some goals.
God has blessed us much.
Will you share how many children you have?
We have 14 children. We had a boy first, and then we had 7 girls in a row, and we evened it out with 6 sons in the end. So we have 7 and 7.
That is amazing. And you are currently in
Lyman, South Carolina. We moved here a year ago from Asheboro, North Carolina, because we have 6 children living here, and they felt that it would be better if we would be closer to family, being where we are in our declining years.
Yes, it's very nice to be with family, and I'm sure they just love that you guys are here with them.
Yes.
Will you tell us about a time or times in your life that you were challenged to find joy?
My time once, I guess, was when we had a very rebellious teenage daughter who we just had to leave in God's hands. It was a very hard and black time for me. But then as time went, we just didn't know what to do with her, and then she decided she was living with a man that was a drug dealer. She was into drugs. And then we got her out of there. She came here to South Carolina for a while. But she called me up one day and she told me, Mom, I love Jeff. That's the man she was living with, and I'm going to come back and marry him. And I thought, no, but I couldn't say anything. And I was down in my basement. It was wintertime. I was down in the basement because I hung my clothes down there in the wintertime. And I was talking to God and saying, no, God, this can't happen. This is not the right way. This is not how it's supposed to be. And the words came to me, trust in the Lord and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he will guide your path. And that was like, I had like a bucket of peace water pour over me, and I received the peace about the whole situation that I have never experienced before and after. And today, this girl and her husband are confessing faith. They have 10 children, and they're right now battling with a little daughter who has a DIPG tumor, brain tumor that is incurable. And all they can do is leave her to the Lord. They are trying all kinds of treatments, but they are leaving her to God, that she is in his hands.
Well, that is the best thing that we can do.
Yeah.
What did you put your hope in to continue on during that challenging time?
I lived in a hope that I had to have hope. And I lived in that hope that this will pass and things will turn around. But they seemed that it would never happen. But that was my hope.
Yeah, definitely. Just trusting and waiting.
Yeah.
That's a lot of what we do in this life.
Yeah.
But as a mom, to see her child suffering or living a life that isn't with God must be devastating.
It's very, very hard. It is. It's just unreal. Like I said, I was so happy to have all the children, and some mothers get very overwhelmed when they're little. I never had an overwhelming feeling until they became teenagers, and that was try to guide them right. And when she came along, she really tried. Yeah. But thanks be to God, I think she's one of the closest ones to us. She's the one that was helping here so much until they found the cancer in her daughter. So her focus has been there now.
Yes. Whew. Yeah. And now she is seeing something that her daughter is going through, and she's praying for her daughter. Yeah. It's just a lot of praying in life and a lot of clinging to God and staying true to Him and reading His Word. And so do you have one Bible verse? That
one I quoted, and then there's, I can't remember them all. There's a few. They're mostly Psalms or Proverbs, but that have stood out but that one just came so near and dear to me. And it's every time I get into some kind of or get troubled about something, I try to remind me of that verse and what He brought us through.
Yes. Isn't it important to memorize those verses? Because if we're out and about or we're somewhere and we don't have our Bible, it's on our heart, and we can trust in those words.
Yeah.
Is there something you do daily to find peace?
Pray.
Yep.
Pray.
Yes, well said. Yes.
And we do have evening devotions where we read the Bible. We have some other devotions we read, we say prayer, and we sing a couple of songs, and that is a comfort.
Absolutely. Yes. Singing and reading just brings so much comfort to the soul. Is there a book that has helped you along the way?
The Bible.
Yeah, definitely. That's the one true book, huh?
Yeah, we have devotionals. They're old, but I didn't even care to look at the newer devotionals. But those are the things that have helped us.
Yes.
And songs. I'm just, the words of the songs bring me lots of comfort.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a favorite song?
Day by Day.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah, I remember. I never realized it, but I must have sang it a lot at home when the children were younger and growing up. And then our oldest son lives in Washington, and one Sunday evening he called us and he said, "We sang Mom's song in church this morning." I thought, what? And he says, Day by Day, so he must have been listening.
Is that sweet? So your husband is a pastor. As a preacher's wife, how has it been for you?
Rough.
Has it? Uh-oh, he's sitting right here.
Well, I know, but it's not otherwise, but when he preaches, I'm so nervous. I just felt like I could go sitting on the floor. And that's how I am. I have lots of pride.
Yeah?
Much pride.
Well, he does pretty good, so. Do you have a healthy habit that you'd like to share?
Me? I don't know if I have any healthy habits. Not really. Well, I try to eat good food, but I don't know. Well, we went to the Y, like the children have at us that pass. And while we were in North Carolina, we went there almost at least 4 times a week, and we did swimming. And that was a great thing for me. And we even have, the children have collected money that we could get a Y membership here, but he doesn't really care for it, and I don't like going alone, so I haven't gotten into it again. But I should. Okay.
Aw, 54 years of marriage is amazing. He just came up and kissed his wife.
But that was something.
Yes.
And when the children were younger, I had friends that we'd take an hour a day and we'd go for a walk and we'd share our day's things and all that stuff, and it was really good.
It's so important to get out and get some fresh air and communicate with other people and just to let them know what's on your heart. Yeah. It's so important because
and
if it stays...
and we did.
Good. Good.
Oh.
Okay, so you've been married for 54 years. I've said that a couple times now. It just really encourages me. Do you have any marriage or family advice, or both?
Well, first of all, be in agreement when you discipline the children. And we were blessed because we are of one heart and mind as far as Christianity goes. So we've had faults, we've argued, but that's one thing that has been we're one heart and mind in, and that is a blessing, and I think that continues on blessing. And then I feel there's a wifely duty I know I fail, but I never, as far as 14 children and him changing diapers, he may count on 5 fingers on one hand how many he changed. I didn't expect him to do that stuff. I didn't expect him to be in the kitchen. I didn't expect that when he came home from work, I'd say, okay, now it's your turn to take the children. And I just kind of cringe when I see that. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying I'm in a good thing. But see, when I was raised with 4 maiden aunts who didn't allow any man in the house to take a dish out of the cupboard, they served them all and stuff. And all of that, I think it all came with me. They would have been horrified if they would have seen a man washing dishes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, back then you didn't really see women out in the wood, stuff like that either. No. I feel like God gave women a job
and a man
a job.
Mm-hmm. And I was thankful that he always had a job. He always supported the family, and it was.
Yes, that's really good. Are there any last stories or words of encouragement that you would like to share with the listeners?
To cling to him and pray. Ask, first of all, the advice of the elders was when you're young, already start praying for a Christian mate. And it may seem that the answer won't come, but it comes. And I was 21, he was 23 when we got married. And prayer and the word and going to church, taking our children to church, that was our life. And our Christian friends that came over and visited us, and we visited back. There was hardly a Sunday that we didn't have company or we didn't go somewhere. And I think that was a blessing.
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely. To have friends in the church community.
Yeah.
And discuss Christianity.
Yeah.
Yes.
In the Bible.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story on the Joyful Soul podcast. I will continue to pray for your granddaughter,
Ava.
For your granddaughter, Ava. And if any of the listeners want to pray as well, that would be very, very good. And I hope that you continue to find joy on your path and enjoy the sunny South Carolina.
Yeah, coming from a cold Minnesota, now I never thought I'd be living in
Well, let me tell you, you are lucky because it is hard to put those boots on and heavy jackets. And
that North Dakota too. It's
God bless you all.
Thank you.